empty cup. Just crack a smile and fill it up. Fill it up.
Welcome to After the Final Pour, brought to you by the Malting Hour. I am one of your hosts, Tony Golick, joined always with
Brandon Winninger.
To my left, frantically searching through his phone for notes that he's going to have to read about the beer that he has brought to share with us today,
Danny Boy.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Doing well. How are you?
Doing an actual After the Final Pour. I like it. We just finished recording an episode. Dan, what are we drinking tonight?
So,
right now.
as we've said in past episodes and everything, we're heading to the Great American Beer Festival. My first time there.
It's our second time there.
Very exciting. So I grabbed a beer from my cellar, as the kids say. And
I don't think kids have cellars. Just going to point that out.
So it's from Lakefront Brewery, who is going to be at the Great American Beer Festival. So I figured we would drink this and kind of just talk about what we're looking forward to and all that jazz.
What are we drinking?
We are drinking from Lakefront Brewing's Small Tank series, which I think maybe you have to get at the brewery. My buddy got this for me and brought it back to me. But it's Barrel Age Rendezvous. It's a Biere de Garde aged 6 years in Brandy Barrels.
Jesus Christ.
What?
Yes.
6 years?
6 years. Has been aged in Brandy Barrels since 2014. This liquid has gathered maturity and sweetness from its years in the barrels. Brewed in small batches, our Small Tank series beers are handcrafted and experimental, made by just a few hard-working individuals determined to create solid liquid for your enjoyment.
Wow.
Boom.
We're about to
it literally
find out.
says boom. And 13.9%.
I thought you were I thought you were hyping it up with the boom at the end.
No, it's,
Like, oh shit, boom. Like a mic drop on it.
and we're looking at like
It's like a
brownish.
yeah.
Like a
I feel like
copper.
Biere de Gardes kind of look like that.
Yeah.
You.
Whoa.
Uh-oh. Was it because of the smell or the taste?
No. It's just the smell. So, reading off of Untapped, it has a little different info here. This is the 9th installment of the Small Tank series. This caramely, well-rounded Biere de Garde stayed hidden in brandy barrels for 6 years, where it picked up notes of vanilla, oak, marzipan, and cherry preserves.
Ooh.
I went in for a smell and a taste. The smell is like a... How can I put this without making it sound insulting?
A dessert? I don't know.
Yeah, no. It was like a sharp alcohol, not astringent, but then if you took caramel candy and mixed that together. That was what I initially got. That's why I was like, ooh, okay. Going in for the taste, though, it is like butterscotch, caramel, bourbon.
I don't get burn on it.
No,
there's no burn.
No burn at all. And
It's, to me, it's like a light barley wine almost.
Yeah.
it's not like super sweet, but there is like, you guys ever like butterscotch chips?
Yeah.
That is like the aftertaste that I have in my mouth without that sweetness. There's like a subtle butterscotch aftertaste.
So they don't... I don't see very many brandy barrel aged beers, but so brandy is a sweet liquor, right? I don't think I've ever had brandy.
Oh, that's right. I said bourbon. Yeah, brandy. Yeah,
Brandy
brandy.
It's that
is sweet.
same smell, kind of.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of, there's some like dark fruit characters that are coming through. Shockingly, so when I hear Biere de Garde, my mind can go several different ways. But then, like, you go barrel aged Biere de Garde, and then you think barrel aged, and my mind always goes to bourbon. So I knew that it was brandy barrel aged. And again, I probably drank brandy in college when somebody stole a bottle from their mom or something. I don't know. That came into my head too. But
good wife it would be.
It's
my life.
I was pleasantly surprised by how much like character is in here. Like as far as like the dark fruit, the maltiness. There's a little bit of like syrupiness that I'm getting in the mouthfeel. This is super good. I like this a lot.
I was worried when I saw 6 years because I had that 3-year aged cycle beer I brought from the Florida episode we did a while back, and that was
I'm like, how do you like 6 years just blows my mind.
You had
like,
to forget about it.
Well, yeah, maybe that's what it was. It was like, oh crap, we got those. But seriously, like, this is probably the oldest barrel aged beer I've ever had. Meaning the longest it's been in a barrel. Yeah.
Absolutely. Same here.
So on Untapped, not everybody uses Untapped, obviously, but only 135 people have checked this in, and it came out. It said it was bottled in like January 2021.
Yep.
So I mean, it's been out for a while.
Yeah.
And only 135 people have had it. So I don't know. Maybe they literally did just have like one barrel of this.
Well, and like you said, if this is something that's like released at their brewery, I can see it being like. This is the epitome of small batch. And again, if you're investing the time to do something for 6 years, you're probably only doing one barrel because that is a big mistake to run into. That's like taking some amateur homebrewers and throwing stout into a 55-gallon barrel that was washed in a kiddie pool.
Yeah, and thinking
Thanks,
that
Paul.
It's going to turn out great. And it did, even though it smelled delicious. This is I'm perplexed by it in a good way. Like, it's blowing my mind, like what I'm getting from this beer. It really did, like, it's reminding me of. It's funny you say dark fruit. My palate right now is not that. My palate is like fixed on butterscotch and like caramel, and almost like if there was butterscotch chips in a cookie. Like a cookie bar or something, and I think that has to do with the brandy barrel in there. The fruitiness I do have, like a light, very light type of fruitiness to it, but this is like a dessert, a very delicious like butterscotch caramel dessert to me.
I liked the light barley wine.
Yeah,
that Brandon said.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's like spot on. I
can't believe it's almost 14% alcohol.
Yeah. It doesn't taste
like seeing like how that you're already like as far done as you are. Like you,
it drinks way too easy. Have you guys been to Lakefront?
I have.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. They got really good cheese curds, but they have this like riverfront patio.
The giant beer hall.
The beer hall, giant beer hall. Tour is awesome that they do there. We had.
Did you go when they finished with the
bunghole thing?
No, well, the bunghole thing, but then like the what the fuck was that show? Laverne and Shirley.
Oh, yeah.
They do that thing at the end. Because they bought the canning line that was used in that. And at the end of every tour, they let people like, do you want to drop the glove on and like take a picture?
Yes.
Yeah.
I do.
I've been there twice. And the second time I went was with a bachelor party. And we had the bachelor was like hammering the bunghole in. Yeah, like they let him get up there and try to hammer the bunghole into the barrel.
Nice. I mean, when you're a bachelor, that's the time to do it. Am I right, guys? Huh? Speaking
I'm
of,
uncomfortable.
It's the last time you're gonna plug a bung.
So I'm looking at the Great American Beer Festival lineup here, and looking at Lakefront Brewing. And they are going to have a brandy barrel aged pumpkin imperial ale.
I bet that's awesome.
Yeah, I think that we got
Lakefront's awesome. I mean, Lakefront. I don't know if I've had a bad beer from them.
I remember a coffee beer from them that I really like. Might be maybe in their regular rotation. But yeah, they also have.
They're in Milwaukee, by the way. Sorry, I didn't say that earlier.
That's all right. Tequila barrel aged margarita ale. That also sounds fun.
I have a tequila barrel aged Russian Imperial Stout that's like got to be 5 or 6 years old.
What? Russian Imperial Stout? That's tequila barrel aged
from Greenbench.
Oh, jeez.
It's called Russian Mail Order Bride.
Okay.
Okay. Well, we got to try.
We got to bring that on. Well, it's funny that you said that because, like, when we started this episode, after the final pour. This is our precursor to us going to Great American Beer Festival.
It is.
And yeah, so Dan brought a Lake Effect. And there's...
Lakefront.
Lakefront.
I always mix those up, too.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry. No lake effect.
Yeah, like I'm shocked by the amount of Illinois breweries that are not going. That I swear have gone in the past. I think Rabbit has gone in the past. Goose has to have been gone.
I don't know.
Had to have gone.
I don't know if Goose is necessarily invited anymore. I feel
like I remember hearing. So again, I've never been, but I feel like I remember hearing that a lot of like the AB InBev. Didn't they like sponsor it before? Or
Yeah,
something?
I think so. It might have been
Maybe.
back in the day, but I don't think they're on there anymore.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, well, as far as like, it's funny because as far as like local breweries go, and this is so dumb, but I just drank my last Thundertaker recently from Revolution, and they are pouring it, so I will make the stop over at Revolution while we're there for the 2 sessions to get another pour of Thundertaker before I can never have it again because it's that fucking good. Mm-hmm. So we are going to the Great American Beer Festival. We will be there. What's the date that we're going to be there? What's the Friday? Friday's the...
So we'll be there the 8th? 7th and the 8th.
So we'll be there the 7th, and we'll be there the 8th. The 8th will be there at the...
Friday and Saturday sessions.
Yeah, Friday and Saturday sessions.
Friday
Saturday,
night session.
Saturday first session.
Is the Saturday first session when they do the medals?
Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Because that's the session we were
Right after the session. Yeah, right after that
we get to see
medals
that?
the session.
We get to see that.
No, we don't get to see
We
the
don't get
medals.
to see that?
No, we're not brewers.
Oh,
Yeah, I
only
think it's like
brewers
a private
get to
thing.
that?
Yeah, it's right after that's completed, then that's when that session starts.
Oh man.
So, just kind of going off past episodes that we've had, one place that I'm actually excited to try some stuff from, like that I'm assuming is going to be fresh. Shorts Brewing is going to be there.
Yeah, I saw that. Actually, I was looking for Short Fuse because
Short
There you are. Gonna
Short
be
Fuse
there.
is there. Russian River is going to be there.
Russian River, I'm excited about. Sorry.
Yeah, I haven't had Pliny the Elder in a while, so I am going to have a pour of Pliny the Elder.
Have you...
I feel like there is like
What shuns do they have there?
you see.
Beautification. There you go.
So, and just so you know,
Umbrella showers.
there's two
Yeah,
different Russian rivers they're 2 different locations. One is their original
yeah.
Santa Rosa, and then Windsor.
The Santa Rosa one is the one I was looking at.
Yeah.
Because they have
One more thing I'm going to say. We're flipping through the list right now for the listeners.
Yes.
But so Forbidden Root, Chicago brewery that opened a Columbus location. The Columbus location is going to be there, but not the Chicago, which is interesting.
And here's the thing, like we there was a post that we saw recently from our friend Beer Goggles, Rachel, asking, it's her first time going to Great American Beer Fest, what should she do? And I said, my reply was, go to breweries you've never been to, first and foremost, which I still stand by that. But also, Dan, you and I were talking right before we started recording, like, when I see names of breweries that I know and I like, I'm also kind of drawn to that. Like, going through the list now, Sierra Nevada will be there.
Yeah.
And they're going to have barrel-aged Bigfoot barley wine and E.H. Taylor collaboration, plus a barrel-aged coffee stout, plus a barrel-aged maple blonde. And they're going to have Celebration IPA on, like, to pour already, like, on tap. In October.
Super fresh.
Super fresh, and the fact that, like, already drinking a Celebration IPA, I know it's early, but, like, why would I not go and have that?
There were, so just going off of that, when I was flipping through the list, there was a lot of people that had Oktoberfest.
Yes, there's a ton of Oktoberfest.
Which I was excited about.
Yeah, Scott Brewing's got one, because I'm in the S's. If you guys can't
But some
tell.
of the hyped up ones, I read this blog post about, like, what to do there, and it was saying, like, if you try to wait in line for some of the hyped up beers, you're going to miss a lot of stuff. Like, you could try 4 or 5 other things in the time it would take you to be in line for one hyped up beer.
Absolutely.
So it's like, do you really want to try the hyped up beer, or do you want to experience more things?
Yeah, go around, and, like, that's kind of what I want to do. The last time Brandon and I went, we just wandered. Like, we literally just wandered, and then if we saw something, we're like, oh, let's try this. That's the first time we had Rheingeist. And I just found my picture of that recently because I remember taking a picture of their stand and because of the skull. And it's funny because when we had them on the show, and Brandon, I think you had to remind me that we had them at the Great American Beer Fest. But like we wouldn't have known about them had we not just gone in line to go ahead and try it.
Yeah, and it looks like Rheingeist isn't there.
Yeah, I was going to look for that as well. So Guinness Open Gate Brewery, the one they have in Maryland.
Yep.
They're going to have that Baltimore Blonde. That's one I've been interested to try. But they also have like a passion fruit and jalapeno amber ale.
Which is so weird hearing from Guinness. When I saw that, I was like, what?
Lemon, lavender, and black tea golden ale.
That sounds delicious.
Barrel-aged wild ale.
Oh, lemon lavender. That's like a lavender Arnold Palmer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then a Belgian style wit. So that's a lot. I mean, there's so much here. I mean, I just passed up Great Divide. They're gonna have a gingerbread Yeti Imperial Stout. Like I gotta go and try that. That. Luckily, we got 2 days to go and try all these beers.
And I have to. So one of my hyped up ones I really would like to try is A Night to End All Dawns by Kane Brewing Company out of Ocean, New Jersey. That one I've heard a lot of good things about.
What kind of beer is it?
That's a stout. Yeah, I think it's a barrel aged stout.
Right. Holy shit!
And I was telling Brandon earlier this morning, Live Oak out of Texas.
That sounds familiar.
They make killer lagers.
Okay.
I've heard. So
yes, I've heard of them.
In trying those. Sorry.
Yeah.
Live Oak. Killer lagers.
So just kind of going off this whole experience. So just kind of recapping how we, on a whim, and Tony and I had kind of discussed it and thought it was funny as a joke.
I left it in Brandon's hands.
To apply for the Great American Beer Festival to be there as media. And we hadn't done anything. And out of nowhere, I just decided, you know what, I'm going to do it. I did it. And I got accepted. And then unbeknownst to me, that everybody else had to apply as well, which is fine. It worked out perfectly. Since then, like, it was kind of like a waiting game. I was like, earlier last week, I was kind of curious. I'm like, when do we reach out to figure out what we need to do? And then, like, Tony sent a screenshot of an email that we got, and I was like, oh, yeah, okay, so information's coming in. And shortly after we got the email, like, telling us about, like, you know, where we need to go, pick up our passes and all that kind of stuff, we got a unsolicited from us email from the Boston Beer Company. Sam Adams and Dogfish Head inviting us to a brunch, which is super cool. So we're going to be hightailing it as soon as we, land. We're going to go pick up our rental car and floor it to brunch. But that kind of triggered me to look at to see what Dogfish Head was bringing, and they're bringing a bourbon barrel aged 120-minute IPA.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting.
Yeah. So I want to try that, and the Wake Up Worldwide Stout are like the two top ones that I really, really want to try. And then
I think I've had the Wake Up Worldwide Stout before.
I've had the Worldwide Stout.
That's the coffee one, right?
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah, I've had that one.
And then I kind of checked on Sam Adams, too, to see what they were bringing, and they're going to have Utopias. So I'm wondering if that's going to be a special tapping.
Have that.
Well, I mean, they could not have it.
No, I'm saying we can't not. I mean, Dan might not have it. That's pretty. Our Friday is pretty packed, man. Like, we're literally off the plane, get the car, brunch, then we have a brewery tour,
and the flight's at like 6 a.m.
Yeah. Which means we need to be at the airport by like 4:30 maybe.
Which means Tony has to wake up like 6 hours earlier than normal.
Which means Tony's just not going to go to bed. I'm going to drink so many Red Bulls. That's a lie. I'm just going to go to bed at 8.
I'm just going to get really drunk Thursday night and then just stay drunk for the rest of the week.
Yeah, and then come home Sunday.
The Lost Abbey's there. I missed that. Oh, man. Duck Duck Goose. I've never had it before, but that's on my list.
Yeah, Lost Abbey does phenomenal stuff, so that's something that I'm looking forward to as well. What I was... And I don't know if we talked about this in a previous episode, but...
Real quick, is there more of this Lakefront beer left by any chance? I want a little bit more of this.
So,
goodness. That's okay. Maybe else.
The beer that blew Tony and I's minds
yes.
when we were there in 2018 was Modern Times. Was it Friend of Zool?
Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah. That was the best beer I ever had that year.
That was, like, ridiculous. It was like drinking fudge.
Yeah, it was like drinking a fudge brownie.
Yeah.
Like, in the best way possible. Like, the best, like, pastry stout I've ever had in my life.
Yeah,
Nothing
and
will ever top that.
It was sweet, but not overly sweet. But you got all of those fantastic notes.
It was the only pour that we got 2 of, or at least I did. I don't know if you got 2. I got 2
may
pours.
have.
Yeah.
I feel like I've heard of that beer. Maybe from you guys.
Maybe.
It was
Have you ever listened to the show?
ridiculous.
A couple times.
There you go.
Yeah, so good. And then other breweries that I'm shocked that aren't like the brewery is not there.
Yeah. Which going back to modern times, I thought that they were like going underwater.
No, they just got bought. I think is it Kona Brewing that just bought them?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And Kona is still an independent craft brewery, but they bought Modern Times, so I'm assuming they're still
Like pennies on the dollar, if I remember correctly. But
no. That's like how somebody bought Ballast Point.
Yeah.
Again.
Who?
Kings and Convicts.
No, I mean, what? Oh, Ballast Point.
Ballast Point.
Remember when they were charging $16 for a grapefruit IPA?
that was like one of the first fruited IPAs.
It was so good, but
That was so good. Yeah.
And you went to the Ballast Point location that they had here, right?
I went to the one in San Diego and I went to the one
didn't go to the
in
one here.
Chicago. The one in Chicago was great. It was awesome.
So I've been to the one in San Diego. I did not get a chance to go here. And then they closed it like right at the height of COVID, I think.
Yeah.
And then I think shortly after that, it was sold. I don't remember. When
I have bears colored, at the bottom.
Brown
There's, like-
sugar.
yeah, absolutely. I just took a swig of that. At the
I didn't
end
take
there.
a sip. I smell my glass. It smells
Yeah,
like brown.
it smells
like
more
a
than
bag of brown
even
sugar.
more so than.
Yeah.
We just poured a little bit more of this Lakefront.
I have just like the bottom, which is like very
dregs.
viscous.
I actually have Ballast Point, like bears colored scarf and hat.
that's cool.
Yeah, and they also have 49ers colors there too. But I got the Bears one, obviously. Real quick, back to some of the you guys were talking, we're going back and forth. I know we're all looking at breweries. This is actually the best time for us to, figure out where we want to go. I've never heard of. You guys know who Four Sons Brewing is?
Never.
In Huntington Beach, California, is their production facility. I just came across what they have. And this is going to be some, not obviously, but barrel aged stuff that I might not get a chance to try again, so I'm always interested in that. The 3 of them that are standing out are the stout aged in Tennessee whiskey barrels with chocolate, peanuts, and marshmallows. Another one is a stout aged in whiskey barrels with strawberry, raspberry, chocolate, and vanilla. And then a stout aged in Woodford double oak barrels with vanilla, marshmallow, and maple. So those are all like pretty big, adjunct barrel aged stouts, but us coming from Chicago, where pretty much the birthplace of barrel aged beers. Those sound intriguing to me. Like stuff like that, I also want to try. I know there's going to be a ton of other like IPAs and lagers and different types of beers, but like going to something like this, that shit stands out to me. Of stuff like, oh shit, I want to try that because. I don't know if I'm ever going to try that again. As far as like a barrel-aged beer,
I feel like Brandon has to go to the Heavy Metal Brewing Company out of Vancouver, Washington.
that makes sense.
I'm there.
For whom the pills tolls.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
I'll try that. It's funny though because I was thinking back to like a lot of my travels in California back in the day. Pizza Port. And like so. Dude, if you've ever been there, phenomenal pizza, by the way. But they
had
also
their beers, not the pizza.
but they brew.
You brought back beer one time.
Yeah. But yeah, so they have 2 locations that are there. Their San Diego location and their San Clemente location. I've been to the ocean. So San Diego / Ocean Beach is where I've been. And it's like every beer I've had from them is pretty stellar. So I'm really game for going and checking them out and seeing what they're bringing. So, and then anybody that's in the California area that's listening to the show, maybe. Yeah. If you have not been, you should go because it is delicious.
I mean, killer hoppy beers. That's all I've had from them.
Yeah. That's 100%.
Also, California listeners, we really do want to get some Pliny the Younger. If you guys can help us out with that, that'd be great. Ecliptic Brewing in Portland, Oregon. They have a beer called Orange Giant Barley Wine Triple Dry Hopped Edition.
Ooh.
I'm going to read that again. Let that sink in, what I just said.
Yeah.
Orange Giant Barley Wine Triple Dry Hopped Edition.
Triple dry hopped barley wine.
Right? You got to try that.
I don't know.
I mean, for me, that's something I'm like, that sounds interesting. There's another place, in Statesboro, Georgia, Eagle Creek Brewing. River Street Praline Brown Ale.
Ooh.
Brown ales don't sell, but a praline brown ale from Georgia? Come on.
Speaking of brown ale, Midwest Coast is going to be there.
I do love that brown ale.
But no, I was just looking. So another hyped up one is Weld Works, which is they make killer adjuncts.
Weld Works, they do. Brandon and I I was going through my Google Photos memories, and back in 2019, right? Was it 2019 or 2018?
2019, I think you said.
We were brewing our Monster cereal beers for my Halloween party, and Brandon brought over a Weld Works beer that was a barrel-aged French toast, or no, coffee and French toast beer. I don't think it was barrel-aged.
Is it like what? I know they have like the Media Noche series or whatever.
I don't know. I could probably look it up what it was. I remember that being very good.
So another one I'm looking forward to trying, Wren House Brewing out of Phoenix, Arizona. When we went to Sonoma, or not Sonoma, what am I saying? Sonoma. Sedona.
You idiots.
For my wife's 30th birthday. And we flew into Phoenix. I stopped by Wren House and just picked up some beer to bring with us to Sedona, and it was really good. So I'm curious to try their other stuff.
And from what I remember from the last time, like it's a really fun festival, like just of walking around and everybody's cool. There weren't like, it's funny waiting in lines. The only line I really remember waiting in was Rheingeist.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is like, and nobody was waiting like for anything specifically. It was just, oh, we're in line. Quick
to ask you guys real quick, is it the brewers pouring, or is it just like volunteers pouring?
Don't
or
know.
Are the brewers just walking around? Do you guys like?
Not sure, because our friends at Old Irving are going to be there.
Just was looking up what they're.
Matt is going to be pouring, so we're going to see Matt. Hi, Matt. I just noticed something as well. I was looking up what Oscar Blues was going to bring, and Oscar Blues is not a part of the fest.
Well, so it's funny. So
Or Cigar City.
Yeah. So part of when we got our official notice from Great American Beer Fest, but we're to pick up our badges and stuff. There's a brewery tour that we're a part of, and I think Oscar Blues will probably be on that tour.
Interesting.
Because it said there's a lot of local Colorado breweries that will stop, some of them which you won't be able to try at the fest.
Maybe that's what the email I read.
Yeah. So I think that's probably one of the things that we're going to run into.
That's interesting. I wonder why some of these breweries are not there this year.
Well, so does a brewery, I don't know this, but does a brewery have to be there to be able to submit something for judging?
I don't feel like you have to pour there to be submit.
So I would think that for most breweries, like in the Colorado area, Great Divide's going to be there, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But Oscar Blues has a spot not too far. Like Great Divide spot's not too far from the convention center as well. But Oscar Blues has their tap room that, food and everything, which, we'll probably hit up.
It's fun. I had Old Chub on Nitro.
Yeah. So, just that in itself, people can come and try it. If you're in town, go try it. Because, let's be honest, most beer nerds that are going out to the Great American Beer Festival, you're staying there, you're going to go try the breweries. In your downtime, you're going to go to places. Because, while the fest is, unique and super fun, doing that, exploring is just kind of part of the thing as well.
There's another Denver brewery that I've heard really good things about, Black Project Brewing. They're in Denver.
Yes.
And
Black
Black Project, I think.
Well, there's
they're not they're not pouring.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're not pouring. So I was hoping when I read that email about breweries you won't get to try at the fest, I was hoping it was going to be Black Project.
It could be. And again, I don't know where this tour goes. I don't know how far, but I think it's a 4-hour tour.
But this place does spontaneous and wild ales, so
You
it's
better not be Gilligan. Miss the fest.
Oh, no. There's please go ahead. Have some of those Fisher's Party Nuts. Fisher Party Nuts. There's a party at every nut. It's funny because our time there is very limited, even though we're there from Friday to technically Sunday. It's mainly first thing Friday morning to Saturday night, and we're on a plane at I think 6 a.m. Sunday morning. So even with 2 sessions, and I think it's kind of it's kind of cool that there aren't breweries like, an Oscar Blues there or other ones that we might just be drawn to. Because I remember the first time I went, we went and had an Oscar Blues. Oscar Blues was there, and I had an Oscar Blues beer that was like vanilla something. God, I don't remember what it was. But I wasn't like super impressed with it. But I was also like, why not just go to a whole bunch of breweries that I don't know to get on my radar and then like keep notes of like, oh, I went to this place and I tried that. Literally just like, I think it would be smart for us to use one day to maybe plot out where we want to go.
Yeah.
And then another day where it's like, let's just like walk. The way it's set up is like convention center. Like literally like, oh, here's a booth, 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 next, next.
Yeah.
To just go down like a line and be like, you guys try something here. I'll try something here. This way there's more like...
Is it just like 1 ounce pours?
I don't remember.
I'm excited to try, the breweries I've never heard of. But I am, like we've all been kind of saying, like there's no Bell's, there's no Great Lakes, there's no Founders, there's no J. Wakefield even, there's no Cigar City. Like it's like a lot of these big breweries I thought would be there aren't there. So I'm kind of, I don't know if they were, I thought they were there pre-COVID. So maybe it's just like something that post-COVID they looked at and said, maybe it's not worth going. I don't know.
Be.
Yeah.
Well, and I think as a brewery, you have to have, like most breweries want their staff to go, so I think you need to have the staff to be able to go.
Yeah.
So you have to have people that are willing to travel. So, but I'm super stoked and excited. We're planning on doing some interviews while we're out there.
Wait a minute.
Wait, what?
This brewery, Bearded Brewer Artisan Ales.
Out of where?
Omaha, Nebraska. They have a beer called Carnival Days with a Z.
ICP?
Maybe. Blueberry Cotton Candy.
What?
They also have a strawberry banana bubblegum smoothie, so I don't know if we're going to stop there, but we're probably going to stop there. Sorry, Brandon, I said the cotton candy beer is what threw me off.
No, but that kind of like sided me. I do wish that, and I appreciate Great American Beer Fest having such an extensive list on their website. I kind of wish that the styles were listed with the beers, because I feel like that
absolutely
it would help us like in making our decisions, but I feel like they also don't do it because a lot of people will go based on the name.
Sure.
They're like, oh, I want to try that. That sounds cool. But and I keep going back. I had Modern Times up because I was back about their friend Zool. They're having it's called Monsters Park Espresso Macaroon.
That's their like big time stout.
And I'm there for that.
Yeah.
Avery is going to have their 2018 Rumpkin.
Oh, yes.
It's like probably 19% alcohol.
Yeah. And then they also have a beer called Welcome Back GABF. So
Yeah.
I got to stop over there.
So another thing I like that the GABF website has is their like you can select the breweries by state.
Yes.
And so it's kind of like, all right, I'm never going to go to Idaho.
Yeah.
Let me see what Idaho breweries are there. Or like that kind of thing. Like you
call.
can try breweries of areas I may, that aren't on the top of your list to like
that you can go
to.
Yeah.
That's actually easy to get to.
That's a good point. There was we also this will be the last thing that I'll talk about this, but
Thank God.
Athletic Brewing Company from Milford, Connecticut is going to be there. As you guys know, that is all non-alcoholic beers, and I know that the Free Wave Hazy IPA and Run Wild IPA and Upside Down Golden Ale are available to us here, at least where I shop. But they have a beer called Closer by the Mile, which I don't know what that is. But they also have a tropical sour from the Fruit Stand series that they do. So a sour beer that's non-alcoholic. That sounds interesting. I kind of want. So I do want to stop over by them and try it out, because their Free Wave Hazy IPA is pretty solid. Like,
I agree.
It's a lot like a mass-produced hazy IPA, where it's not like super fruity, over the top and sweet. It's like, it's got a fruitiness to it. There's some hop bitterness to it, but not too much. But it's still drinkable.
Agreed.
So, yeah. I don't know. There's you know what? I got to go to Anchor, because they've got their Steam Beer, the West Coast IPA, and Anchor Porter.
One of the OGs.
Did we talk about Brooklyn Brewery's pouring 2019 Black Ops?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I didn't know they were pouring that.
Yeah.
Did you say that?
No, I didn't say it.
You son of a bitch.
Well, we were talking about Brooklyn before we started recording.
That's true. Sorry. That's cool. That we'll have to stop by.
And I love Brooklyn Brewery. Like, I've been to their location a couple of times in Brooklyn when I used to travel out that way.
So I just looked at, and this is the last thing I will talk about. Sam Adams. They are also
The Ohio location?
yes. They are pouring their oyster stout.
Sam. Oh.
Yeah.
That's exciting. I want to try that. I know there's plenty of beers for us to try.
Yeah, there's I'm not going to try everything I want to try.
I think we have 6 to 8 hours total
Oh. Yeah, but did you
while we're there, right? Because how long are the sessions? 3 hours?
I'm wondering how many people.
No,
I mean, this is like.
I feel like the first one's like 5 to 10.
Really?
I don't know.
I feel so. This is like beer nerdy, but I'm wondering like how many people. Like, is Sam Calagione going to be like walking around? Is he going to be at the
I don't
brunch?
know. We'll see.
I might like.
I think if we have any opportunity to see them, it might be at the brunch. By them, I also threw in what's his name from Dogfish Head. I mean,
Sam Adams.
Yeah, I'm talking about
The guy from
Yeah.
Sam Adams that was in the
we
commercials.
all know him.
Yeah, that guy with the hair.
And the last name that should be Koch or Koch.
Yeah.
That guy. How
Greg?
this is
Greg.
Fuck. This is a good sign of an after the final pour where you can't remember
With 14% beer.
after drinking 4 other beers that were very good. Well, 5 technically if you can include.
Yeah,
the
I'm trying to check to
Gallic
see
Kolsch.
what time the sessions are, but I did just find that the Friday session starts at 5:30. So our little bus drops us off at 4.
Well, it's enough time for us to run back to the hotel and take a shit.
Well, I think it literally drops us back off in front of the convention center. So we are literally a stone's throw away.
Doors open at 4:30 though for that session.
Really? What do people do for an hour, like at a beer fest?
Stand there and wait to get in. Hey, do you still know somebody over there, Brandon?
I do.
All right, we'll talk about that off mic. All right, you guys got anything else you want to say about this?
I was just gonna say,
You're welcome.
we've been saying if anyone is out there to come find us.
That's right.
I think we're gonna be wearing our shirts, right?
I'll be wearing a
Yeah.
pin at least.
You gotta wear your
Look
shirt.
for the.
Don't tell me what to fucking do, man. This is our show.
Wear your shirt.
All
So, well, and I will add this. So, if anybody does find us, we'll have some swag. But if anybody finds us and shows us that they have purchased merchandise from our website, we will have some extra swag for you.
Yeah. Go to themaltinghour.com. We have our own. I'm sorry, I'm dropping peanuts on the
Sorry.
floor. We have a store now. Buy some stuff. Which shirts? We got hoodies. We got coffee mugs. I think that's it right now. Right?
I was in Door County and I saw that come up on the Instagrams and I was like, whoa.
Yeah. Yeah, so we've made the push forward.
I told my wife not to buy me any malting hour stuff because that just seems redundant. So she said, well, I can buy it for other people. And I go, that would be weird. But if you want to buy malting hour stuff for friends, please go
do.
ahead.
Please
Yeah.
do.
I'm buying a hoodie, I think, from us, to be honest.
Yeah, I have one.
And that's what I'd rather wear to the fest.
I don't fit in it, but I have one.
Well, that's why I want to buy one.
Is it like hot and sweaty in there?
I don't know.
Yeah. I'm
It's
trying
good.
to remember.
The weather's going to be rainy and in the 70s.
Really? Because I just looked last night and it was like 70s and like clear skies. So, and here's the thing with Denver. If it says rain, it's like, it's minimal. Like most of the rain happens outside of the city, closer to the mountains, but they still call that like Denver. I've never been to Denver. I think once I've been there where it actually like said rain and it rained a lot. So I'm assuming it'll probably be, I'm hoping it'll be pretty minimal. So.
Well, I'll say this. Anybody who's listening and you happen to be going, come and find us. Hit us up. Look for us. Whatever.
And let us know if you have any suggestions on things that we should try that are going to be there.
Good question. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good thoughts, Dan. Way to go. Yeah. If you guys have a brewery maybe that we should go see or whatever.
Or if you haven't
do
worked
beer.
for a brewery and you want us to come try your stuff, hey, we're and you want to talk to us, we're going to be doing some recording there. So we're going to have some stuff to do some recording, and we're happy to talk to folks.
Yeah, and Matt, we'll see you there too.
We'll talk to Matt anyways.
We'll probably
We always
come
do.
and hang out at your booth for a little while, to be honest. Just send everybody else off to get random beers, and I'll just... if you need me to pour, Matt, I'm your guy. I'm your guy. All right, that's all I got. You guys got anything else?
That's it for me.
Dan, thanks for bringing this beer.
Yeah,
Very
good beer, man.
Curated the entire evening for us. What a guy.
Awesome.
So good. Brandon, love you, man.
Love you too, bud.
And we'll see you guys in Denver.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
This has been The Malting Hour. Be sure to follow us on all social media by searching The Malting Hour and at themaltinghour.com. You can also follow us individually on social media. Brandon can be found on Instagram as BMDub81, on Twitter, BDub81, and on Untapped as BDubDrinksBeer. Tony can be found on Instagram and Untapped under Ace of Help Chicago, on Twitter, The Ace of Help Chicago. Clark can be found as Clarkowski on all three. Dan can be found on Instagram as hip__hops and hip hops on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe, like, and rate the show on your preferred podcast listening platform. Until next time, cheers from all of us at The Malting Hour.